So the Disc Golf Network, the USDGC is going to be announcing live broadcast packages with the Disc Golf Network to produce these with a discount for their subscribers. So the USDGC for the past few years has been exclusively live pay-per-view event. They've been doing it through Fulcrum Media for a little while now, and they're switching this year to doing it through the Disc Golf Network, which when you first hear that, you think, oh, sick. I'm a Disc Golf Network subscriber. I'm going to get access to this.
That's what I thought.
The USDGC, however, still wants that same like payment plan structure they were going with. They're just using the Disc Golf Network's platform to kind of present it.
Their resources.
Yeah, they're using Disc Golf Network's resources and everything that to present it. So you will still have to pay an additional fee. You'll get a discount if you are a DGN subscriber. It looks like viewers who purchase their pay-per-view package have two options: the Fan Pass or the Gold Pass. So the Fan Pass.
And was this what we had last year? Did we have 3 plans last year?
I think last year there were 3, I believe.
Yeah, I think
they kind of consolidated them to 2.
Okay.
So the Fan Pass, these are unlimited, $25, get you 4 days of live coverage of the USDGC and the Throw Pink Women's Championship, exclusive access for 30 days following the event, exclusive access to the DGN bonus content, which we'll talk about that here in a second, and a US Disc Golf membership through October of 2022. The Gold Pass, there's only 250 available of these. It's $100. Also gets you the coverage, exclusive access, all of that. But in addition, it gives you an exclusive commemorative disc, an exclusive commemorative coin, and a $10 gift card to DGU. So that's kind of where that increased value comes from.
It's interesting. So if I'm trying to remember correctly, is there no post-produced coverage for USDGC beyond this?
No.
So
no. If you want to watch it, you have to pay one of these two.
This is where this is interesting, because I was thinking in my head, like, as the Disc Golf Network, like, what are your big benefits of taking this on? Now, obviously, one of them being you're going to get some subscribers probably. Now, the discount that's going to save you a whopping $5 is not that big of a deal.
Well, that is 1 month of your... One thing we have to remember is the USDGC was bringing live in a pay-per-view model regardless.
Right. No,
so now if
it's
you're a
not
DGN subscriber...
It's not the Disc Golf Network's fault.
No.
Let me make that very clear. Innova, who runs USDGC, are the ones that are the ones who are like, hey, we don't care if you're running this. We still want our pay-per-view model.
You're not paying DGN. Yeah. Well, it might be through their software, but you're not paying DGN the $25.
Disc Golf Network is... I don't know. The question is... Was there any kind of payment from DGN to Innova to even get that discount? Or was it like, hey, we'll let you use our resources. All we ask is that we can give our subscribers a little discount. Now, what I find kind of interesting is maybe part of Disc Golf Network's motive behind this is they're in it. This tournament's very unique in a sense that we'll get an idea of just how like the whole dynamic between people who only watch post-produce versus live. Well, now they have no choice but to watch live. So maybe Disc Golf Network is thinking, man, that data is going to be kind of valuable. If we can see all the viewership data and know what it would be like if there was no post-produce coverage, like this is like their sneak peek into what that would be like.
Yeah.
It's a little different because it's a lot more expensive, but I feel like that might be a potential motive for them.
Yeah, so if you remember last year, the Disc Golf Network was on site. And I think that was the plan this year. They were on site, but they wouldn't let them broadcast it. So the Disc Golf Network was doing like after the Throw Pink Women's, before the men's, they did a show and they had like highlights of the Throw Pink Women's round. And then, they talked about what's coming up with the men. And then after the men's, they had a thing. So like they had 2 different shows that were going on and they had highlights. And that was like, if you were a Disc Golf Network subscriber, you got to at least see that. It looks like that's staying.
And here's
because it says, as was the case for the 2020 USDGC, the live broadcast will be the exclusive way to watch the championship. However, Disc Golf Network will produce bonus features, including interviews, player features, blah, blah, blah. So that's like some additional content that sounds like if you're paying the $5 a month if you're a PDGA member, or $10 a month for Disc Golf Network, you'll still get some coverage and be able to keep up with the storylines and stuff like that and all the bonus stuff. But the additional $20 to get the Fan Pass will get you the actual coverage. And you'll get a $20 discount on the Gold Pass. So it'll only be $80.
This is also kind of a smart fail-safe move on Innova's part because last year, especially during the first round, they got roasted a lot for their coverage. There's just so many issues. But by using the Disc Golf Network's team, all of the complaints are immediately going to go towards the Disc Golf Network because half the people probably won't even realize that Innova is the one still running it.
Yeah.
They're going to blame the Disc Golf Network.
Well, I think
And Disc Golf Network, they know, just has a more solid idea of how to do live.
I think that was the biggest thing last year was Fulcrum Media
They had some good ideas, but they were just, the audio was so bad.
Well, Fulcrum Media covers Ultimate.
Right.
They this was like their first time doing disc golf.
Yeah.
So they had like tested a bunch of stuff, but when it came to producing the whole show, they just weren't used to it. The Disc Golf Network's been doing it all year.
Right.
So I would expect there's not going to be, unless there's like signal issues, which there shouldn't be at Winthrop, there won't really be too much issues as far as like the actual show goes.
I also wonder what Innova's price would have been for DGN to buy the full rights and not have to do a pay-per-view model. But I did the math on my phone just a second ago, and it was like basically, if let's say they get 15,000 people in at that $25, does that seem like a reasonable number?
I'm trying to remember what they came out with.
think
So
it was-
last year, I do know this. I don't know if this is public, so I won't say the number because I can't remember if this was public or if I just knew it from behind the scenes stuff. I do know USDGC paid Fulcrum to cover it last year. It wasn't the other way around because USDGC gets all the pay-per-view.
Right, because if they get 15,000 people in at $25, just the $25 tier, that's $375,000. They're going to make bank. So if that's the amount that DGM would have had to pay, something close to $500K maybe to get the full rights, it would have gained them ridiculous amounts of subscribers because that's the only way you would be able to watch it, and it would have been $10 a month for non-PDJ members, $5 for PDJ members, date your subscription. But I don't know if they could have recouped the money because there would have been a lot of people that bought it for the month and drop.
Yeah.
So I was thinking originally, I was like, man, I wish they'd have just bought the rights and they would have got so many subscribers, but it probably wouldn't have been
I'm
worth it.
trying to see if I can find any statistics from last year's.
It's interesting. $25, man.
So I did just in like my first search.
It's a lot.
It looks like last year's was $20.
Yeah, I remember last year there was like.
So it looks like there was a slight increase. I know that.
Here's the thing. Last year, the higher tier, the more expensive tier, was worthwhile because they were only making like what 1,000 of those.
Well, this is only
discs?
250 this year.
Of what?
The higher tier with the disc and the
Right.
commemorative
So
coin.
like
It's only
that's
250.
the better tier because you can flip that disc and literally almost pay for the entire tier probably because they're only making 250 of them. So that's kind of that's kind of what makes it interesting too. But yeah, I don't really know how I feel. Like here's like when it comes down to it, I know Innova is putting together a real probably like my favorite event of the year. So like and I know there's a lot of expense involved, I'm sure, and I don't even know what's going on behind the scenes. Who knows? Winthrop University might be gouging them to use that course, and they might need this pay-per-view money to even pay for the course. So I can't really speak on that. I do think it's kind of a bummer, though, that the event that I would want seen by eyeballs outside the sport more than any other probably, or just about, is the one that's going to be seen by the least amount of eyeballs outside the sport because you have to be a committed disc golf fan to commit $25 just to watch it.
Yeah.
So nobody, like my buddy who I'm like, hey, check out disc golf, he's not going to pay $25 to watch.
No.
So that's where it's a bummer.
It looks like the first time, I can't find any statistics on how much they paid Fulcrum, so that must have been in my head. Well, I know how much they paid him, but I don't think I'm allowed to release it. But it looks like live streaming, the pay-per-view live streaming for USDGC started in 2019 when Spin TV provided lead card coverage, Jomez provided chase card, and then fans could have paid $10 to get lead card for rounds 2, 3, and 4. And then last year up to $20 and it was the exclusive way, and now it's $25 in the exclusive way.
Yeah.
I don't like pay-per-view per event.
No, yeah, I don't.
That's not the way.
I mean, it's clearly not the model anybody's going with except Innova. I mean, Innova.
Well, that's the biggest thing is this is where it comes back to there being a possible issue of a company, a manufacturer, who like a for-profit company owning the biggest event in the sport or one of the biggest events in the sport, because they can do things like this. And what are people going to say? We can't have USDGC as a major. That's like the most notable major.
Yeah.
And so, because if this was like a PDGA event or a disc golf, like if this was a disc golf pro tour event, they gain all the value from people buying into the DGN.
Right.
You know what I mean? In general. So they're not going to charge for one event because it's not their only event.
Yeah.
This is like the one shot, and Innova knows what they have.
Right.
Clearly, that's why they're charging $25 is the cheapest way to watch this.
Yeah.
Because they know what they've got, and they know that, I mean, people are going to pay because you want to see USDGC. Everyone wants to. So, I mean, I don't like it. I don't like paying that much for it, But at the same time, like, I'm paying it. Like, I got to watch USDGC. I'm not missing. Actually, we'll probably be there. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll be there.
True.
So then we won't have to pay. But if I'm at home, I'm paying it. I mean, probably what'll end up happening is a lot of people will be like, get a group of 4 or 5 of you and all chip in. So you all pay like $5 and have one account and then just watch it together. You know, kind of like a fight, like a UFC fight where it's like $70 or whatever, but you get 10 people. So it's like, I'm only paying $7 to watch whatever go down. But I don't think the UFC model when it comes to pay-per-view works for disc golf.
It's a lot different.
It's a lot different. Because it's not like we're seeing, we've got to pay for this one because we're watching Conor McGregor fight Dustin Poirier. It's like, no, we're seeing the same people that we saw last week and the week before and the week before.
Exactly.
Just a different course.
Right.
But that's the changes for this year. I do like that they're going with the Disc Golf Network just because I feel like that does at least secure a better broadcast.
Right.
Because people know that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So I do like that side of it. And I think the Disc Golf Network is going to do a great job. I fully support the Disc Golf Network in that model.
It's an easy course to film too. Won't be tough.
I just don't like the additional pay-per-view on top of it. It would have been nice if there would have been, plus for an event like.
I honestly really just hope though that I really hope the Pro Tour doesn't catch the blame for that because it's tough when you tie your name.
I don't
in,
think they will.
But I know their hands were tied.
I don't think they will because they were going to be there anyways doing the live shows and stuff.
I think people are going to see the Disc Golf Network. It's on. You go to their app and you have to pay $25.
I'm hoping you don't have to go to their app to pay $25. That's where they would catch flack is if it was through their app that you had to pay.
That's what I'm saying.
If you go to Innova and you pay $25 and then you get it through the Disc Golf Network, it's going to be through the Disc Golf Network app.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope they don't catch enough
They're going to
backlash.
catch unnecessary flack because there's no way that pay-per-view is on them.
No.
Do you still have to pay to go? Like
there's spectator passes there.
That's what I was making sure.
Yeah. Which I'm all for spectator passes at the event.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense because you're paying for an experience. I mean, especially when we're already paying pay-per-view per month for the Disc Golf Network and we get a ton for that just to have it tacked on an additional $20 for a 4-day event. I mean, it's only $5 a day if you look at it that way, but we're paying $5 a month. I would have loved to known, and hopefully they test this in the future, what the money would look like if you have the $25 and $100 tier, right? And you have those 2 tiers right now, how much money they bring in. And then if next year they still had the like $100 or high dollar tier because of the disc and stuff like that, but then they made the lower tier like $10 or $5.
Right.
Because then if it's $5, who's not pitching in $5?
Right.
But $25, it's like, I mean, I want to watch USDGC, but you got to really want to watch USDGC.
It's like the difference. I mean, yeah, if you go from like 25 to 5, then like instead of 10,000 viewers, you need 50,000.
That's what I'm saying. So like, what?
So yeah,
where's the sweet spot where it's cheap enough that you get more viewers
you make more
to where
money.
you end up making more money?
Right. Yeah.
It's a bigger risk up front. But like, for instance, my parents love watching disc golf. They would have paid $5 or $10 to watch USDGC. They're not paying $25 to watch USDGC because they're not diehard disc golf fans.
Right.
They enjoy watching it, but your casual viewer is not paying $25.
They've used that model has been used in like there was a sports concession stand for the Atlanta Falcons when they opened up the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, their new one. They decided that instead of selling food for super high prices like every other sports concession stand, they were going to go super cheap. Like $1, $2, $3, and they made more money than any other team in the NFL off of concessions. Because if I go to a game and I see an $8 hot dog, like I'm not buying that. But if it's
you're only buying that hot dog, if you do.
Right. But like if everything's only a few bucks, I might even spend more money in total. But I'm like, I got all this stuff. Like it's interesting.
It's a similar model.
You got to find the sweet spot, though.
So you got to find that perfect balance. And the thing I don't like is that they just keep increasing. So then, like next year, we're gonna see $50 and $100. Like where do they stop increasing? Because
USDGC is always an interesting one because it's a ticking time bomb because that course is on a public university. Well, I don't know if it's public or private, but that's beyond the point. It's a university. It's owned by a university. So like that course is not going to be around forever. It's just not. Like the best hope, the only hope of keeping that course would be like if the university like sold it to disc golf somehow, but like it's not gonna happen. That course is probably not gonna exist one day.
No, yeah.
So that's gonna be
probably in our lifetime it won't exist.
Yeah,
and that's gonna be a sad day for the sport. But the only hope is that they can find something comparable. But it's almost like, is it a sad day for the sport? Because like, do we really
It would
want our
be.
most prestigious event to be throwing around tennis courts and off Coliseum stairs?
I don't think we do, but it would be a tough pill to swallow because that is our most
much
prestigious
history.
course
Yeah.
we have.
It's got so much history and stuff. There's no event that gets me excited like USDGC.
I love
Even Worlds, every year I get excited, but USDGC, like,
USDGC has found a way to make almost every hole in the course iconic. To where when
It's
I see
so
it, I'm
much
like,
fun to
oh,
watch.
this is this hole. Like
Yeah.
I know every hole.
It's like whenever you're watching USDGC, every new hole they walk up to, you're like, oh, this is my favorite hole.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no, I forgot about this one.
Yeah.
This one's my favorite
well,
hole.
it's also like, it's Worlds I've tried to go to almost every year. I went 2015 to like 2019. This year I just didn't feel like going to Utah. But USDGC, like, I'm always going to be at USDGC if I can get there. Like last year, I don't think there were spectators. So I would have had to like sneak in a media pass, but I didn't really have a reason. So like last year I didn't get to go, but like if I can be on the ground at USDGC, I'm going to be. Like there's nothing like watching a day of.
Yep.
And they're assuming this year there's no restrictions. Come October, there'll probably be like 4,000 plus people there.
yeah.
And it's an especially walking up to hole 17, man. There's nothing like USDGC. If this is your first year in disc golf, you are a lucky duck. Just go back and just start watching some USDGC footage. You have so much to learn. Oh my word. There's so much good stuff out there. And hopefully, if you're looking at this price tag saying $25, I don't know if I can afford that. Just talk to your local club, find like 4 or 5 people where you can all pitch
Just
in.
watch 2017.
Because you have 2017,
Isn't that the year with the playoff? Which is the year with
2014. Are you talking about the Shoestrick?
that was
Johnny
was that
McRae?
long ago?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was because it was Shoestrick's last win. Spoiler.
I thought
It was Shoestrick, Johnny McRae,
Yeah,
and Paul
way
of
to go.
2014.
it was that long ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Because then it's been an interesting winter since then.
'Cause
Yeah.
in 2015,
watch
Paul won.
2014. I know Hunter just
2016.
spoiled it, but it doesn't even matter.
No, that's
you
spoiled
will
nothing.
You watch like the back 9 of the final round at 2014. You will understand why USDGC is amazing.
Yeah,
because
it's
it's never
one of the
over
best.
until it's over.
But yeah, find a few friends and split it. You're gonna want to watch it, and this is the only way to watch it. Especially with how disc golf's been going this year, it's gonna be an absolute bloodbath out there. It's gonna be crazy because
I have no idea who's going to win.
No, you
No,
never
you
do.
never do.
And this year especially, you don't.
It's
Yeah.
just different people all the
That's
time.
what I'm saying. Find a group. I know everyone's gonna be mad when this gets announced about $25 because I mean, I'm like as diehard of a disc golf fan as it comes, and I'm like $25, man.
Here's the thing, those-
but just find a bunch of friends, split it, watch it together, or just share the password and figure it out.
Here's the power of the USDGC. Those guys you consider the best right now, Calvin, Eagle, Ricky, none of them have won a USDGC.
Yeah, and they might not even be in the top 10.
That's what I'm saying.
The crazy thing is that
And Paul's only got, what, 1?
Two.
He's got
2015, 2018.
Yeah.
during the time of it just being Paul and Ricky, where like you knew if one of them was playing, one of them was going to win.
Yeah.
Like even there were multiple years where neither of them won USDGC.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's just crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
Sexton snuck in there.
Yeah,
Sexton,
Big
Coley,
Germ
and
snuck in
Conrad.
there.
Yep.
Shoestrick, Conrad, Chris Dickerson.
I feel like that was one of James Conrad's like first big wins.
It was.
Well, yeah,
Put him on
that's
the
That's probably
map.
his
I would
first
say
big win.
I always think that USDGC title-wise, it's not treated like this, but I feel like I'm more impressed if you have a USDGC than a world title
Yeah.
because I know what it took to get that USDGC win. Worlds, it's a more prestigious title in that like it's put on discs and X, Y, and Z. But
I mean,
like,
there's a couple.
you don't know where it happened. It might be like a super
Right.
impressive. Oh wow, you won at that Worlds.
winning
or like
at
oh,
Winthrop is like
winning at Winthrop, you know
real
the
deal.
history. You're like in history book forever. You have that sick USDGC ring. Like,
pretty neat.
I mean, I'm way more. When I hear someone's a US champ, I'm like, because that's like the hardest event to win, in my opinion.
I think it's the hardest to win.
So, yeah, so that's what came out today. I mean, we're like less than 2 months away from USDGC.